Friday, the usual South Somerset Talking Cafe Live for you today. And today we are very fortunate that we have Liz, who is one of the 3 leads from Yeovil Micro Providers. She's going to come and talk to us and be there to answer any questions that you might have. To start with, I am going to do my poem as usual, and it's what is a micro provider? A micro provider, please explain. Is it something more than just a name? Yes, it is. Now hold on to your hat. It gives you a choice in care support, but more than that, a person-centred service tailored to you, response reactive in what they can do. Support all areas of social care. Whatever you need, they will be there. Build a relationship, a vocational choice, someone who's there to give you a voice. Quality care is what they can give from someone who knows to help how you live. That about sums them up. And we now have the pleasure of meeting Liz herself. Good morning, Liz. Thank you very much for coming along and taking part in our Talking Cafe Live. It's over to you to let everyone who's watching know who you are, what you do, how wonderful a job it is. Off you go.
Thank you, Wendy. Good morning, everybody. My name's Liz Tice-Peterson. I've been micro-providing in Yeovil and surrounding district for over 2 years now. What I've done in that time has been very, very varied. In with that, I've done some end-of-life care, which gave the families involved some quality time with their loved ones at home, because prior to the micro providers' involvement, they couldn't find a care agency to take them on to support them at home. So that was quite crucial at that point in time for those families. As I say, it's very, very varied what micro providers will do and what they will provide. It's anything from shopping, a bit of cleaning, personal care, dealing with somebody's post for somebody that can't see. I've even had clients where I've helped looked after their pets as well. I mean, one lady I went to, I even used to give her dog its tablets morning and tea time when I went in. So as I say, it is very, very varied, and it's all very, very personal centred. I also do sitting services, which gives the carer a break, which I think for a lot of carers that are looking after a relation, whether it be a partner or mum or dad or an aunt or an uncle or whatever, it's very difficult to actually accept you've got to the stage where you actually need a bit more help to give yourself a break. And I think that's very important, that carers doing the caring take time for themselves and actually look after themselves as well, which is where having the support of a micro provider can be extremely beneficial, because if you involve them early on in the journey and you built up that relationship, you've got a good bit of support there. And it's also the fact that your micro provider knows others within the community. I mean, as an example, we're very fortunate in Yeovil. We've got 2 people that cut toenails on the... I might have to bribe my dog a minute. That cut toenails. And of course, having good foot care ensures that you've got good balance.
Live broadcasts. This is living proof.
Yeah, this is living proof. And unfortunately, my little Jack Russell can be an absolute pain. But I love him dearly. No, so as I was saying, the beauty about your micro provider is they also know others in the community. For example, it's like we can go on the WhatsApp group. Who do you know that covers this area that comes out and does haircuts at home. So you've got access to a hairdresser that's known, provides good service, reasonable prices, and is going to be good. That's just one example. And it's like, we know people to do odd jobs. We know, there's lots of different things that we can tap into within the community. I'm very fortunate. I've had experience with a chap that does stair lifts, and I know he's very reasonable and he's very reactive. I had a situation where somebody was really, really poorly and they were sleeping downstairs in a chair, and they'd thought about getting a stair lift previously and hadn't done it. And they thought with the pandemic going on, they wouldn't be able to get anybody out. And they happened to say, I don't think we'll get anybody out. And I said, well, let me make a phone call and see if we can get this chap to come out, because I know he's good and I know he's reasonable. So I rang. He could come the next morning and give him a quote, and at that point I stepped back. But bless his heart, because he could see what the situation was, he went back that afternoon and fixed it in for them. Which, if you go to a big company, that's unheard of. But your local companies working in together, it's really good, because they can provide the help and support that makes a difference and is giving people a bit of quality and making life easier.
So your local people that are supporting your local area as well by using
local
services. How would you how would you find out more about becoming a micro provider?
That's very much getting onto Rhys Davis at Community Enterprise, and you'd go and do a startup surgery. And as I say, with that startup surgery, you've then got a lot more information. Then you'd be sorting out things like your DBS, your insurance, if you wanted to go ahead, putting together a portfolio.
So you get all that support. There's a whole network of support.
County have been absolutely brilliant all through this pandemic, because they've supported with PPE when it's been very, very difficult to get. They were distributing some for free, because face masks you couldn't get for love nor money. So as I say, that was good. But it's also the fact that through county, you've got the village agents, and the village agents and the health coaches have been brilliant in making sure throughout this pandemic that people aren't slipping through the net. So the village agents, the health coaches, have also been putting information on the WhatsApp sourcing groups saying, I need XYZ for this person. Has anybody got any availability? Then the micro providers have responded to that, whoever's had the availability to pick that up. So
speaking as a village agent, we couldn't have actually covered and done what we did without the micro providers stepping in and bridging especially the more unusual requests. As you say, some of them were so short term, and you're really seriously applauding the micro providers, because, as you say, we put it up on the WhatsApp and the response was amazing, and it kept everything ticking over. It really did. So on behalf of CCS, really, it's a big thank you to the micro providers and everybody sort of backing you up to with the help through the pandemic, especially, and all other times.
But the thing is, that's been reciprocal, because the micro providers have been glad of the work that's been posted. And as I say, it's that joined up service where everybody works in together. I mean, I've got district nurses on speed dial, and I think at times they get fed up of me ringing up and saying, this lady's come out of hospital, she's going to need dressing changes and blah 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 blah. Have you got her on your list? Because odd times people do slip through the net. But I think if you're aware, and I mean, I've gone in and somebody's had a fall and they've got a really nasty skin tear, and so it's contact the district nurses. I've perhaps done a patch-up job with my first aid kit, and then contacted them to come and look at it properly, because sometimes you get some really nasty ones and they actually need more than I've got in my kit. So yeah, I mean, it's very much a joined up service, going with the flow, everybody working in together and trying to do the best in their local communities.
So what would you say for somebody that's, let's take it from the client side. If somebody is needing a carer, has only just heard about micro providers, what would you say to reassure them that micro providers are equally as qualified, as reliable, etc.? So how would you reassure them that it is a good choice to have a micro provider as opposed to going down the agency? What are their benefits?
Well, the thing is, we've signed up to quality standard. We've gone on to a trusted provider thing where we've had to upload insurance, DBS, other bits and pieces of paper, contracts, T's and C's.
So for those that don't know what a DBS is, that's the police check, isn't it? Yeah. So you're having all the legality, all the legal side of it is being met and recorded. So they do know that picking a micro provider as opposed to the girl next door, you do come with insurance, with police checks. You have training facilities. It's letting them know that you are not just anybody.
Granted, we're not CQC registered, but for a lot of us, we work to CQC guidelines. And, you know, we're all about best practice. And for me, the biggest thing is that it's that consistency for the client. Whereas if you get an agency in, you probably could have 20 different people through the door in a week if you've got 2 or 3 calls a day. So you don't know who you're going to get in at any one point. And the agencies, in fairness, are not as tight on times. Where I know with myself and many others, we are very within sort of quarter of an hour, half an hour max on time.
So you're able to develop the relationship better because of your continuity.
Yeah.
Because you're local, you're not losing the times of getting to appointments because of travel, etc., because you're all relatively local.
Yeah.
And as you say, you get to know your people and build that relationship.
Yeah,
so it's more than just going in and doing care.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the biggest thing is when you have got somebody working with you consistently, you know your person, you know when something's not right with them, and you're thinking, there's something a little bit more going on here. And then you can probe a bit deeper. Are you feeling okay today? Have you been? Are you struggling with anything? Or you can have a look at mobility. Is that worse than usual? And little things. And you do very much pick up on what's going on with a person. Are they a bit low? Is something bugging them? Because you built that relationship, you can then gently ask the questions.
Yes, yes. And as you say, and they're more inclined to open up to you as well because they know and trust you, don't they? So it is a win-win situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the impact of the pandemic, that must have really, as I say, it hit everybody, as you say, all the key workers. So has that led to your numbers increasing at all because people have become more aware because of the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, we've gradually, I think every network is growing bit by bit. And I also think with the pandemic going on, a lot of people have thought, actually, do I really want to be doing what I'm doing all the time? Is it time for a change? Is it time for something more meaningful? So I think many people are rethinking what they're doing and, you know, probably taking that leap. But I also think with the pandemic, it's meant that people's values have shifted a little bit in the thinking. I mean, for everybody, I think it's the unknown. We don't know how long it's going to go on for. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know how things are going to pan out. And I think we're all doing the best we can in an unknown situation. And I think everybody's having good days and bad days with it, where, you know, everybody gets a bit low and a bit fed up with it, and having what I call a wobble day.
Yeah, and things aren't actually easing off terribly much again now. We've got the threat of a second wave coming, which has got people worrying already.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah, it's going to be slightly different in that I think that, you know, the availability, that people will still be working more, etc. However, as you say, for those that are needing the care, needing the help, then it is very much, as you say, a worry. So to have micro providers and yourselves going in that they know is I think very valuable. How do you see the role going forward for the micro providers? Because I know you're in the throes of working on Facebook pages, and as you say, we've got the WhatsApp. What else can you see sort of how they're going to go forward? And
we've now got feedback forms just being launched so that people can feedback about the care they've received from micro providers. And there is the facility that, you know, if anybody does have a problem with a micro provider, they are able to put in a complaint, and that will be investigated and dealt with by going through to county for that. And again, I think it's all about providing a quality service and building on that, and building on the numbers, and building on the expertise, and building the links. Because to me, this pandemic has really shown how people can pull out the stops and very much work together to get the job done that's needed to be done, and ensuring that people don't fall through the net and people are supported.
We are very lucky that the whole of Somerset is supported, and depending on what areas you are, we will put up as many addresses as we can for South Somerset, where your micro providers can be contacted, because as you say, it's not just Yeovil or Chard or South Petherton or Ilminster. There is now a real network out there.
Yeah.
So if people find themselves, if they type in the word micro providers, even if they know nothing else, if their skills are limited, they will still be able to find you, won't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is growing all the time, and I know Reese and Harry have been working very hard to get more networks established and Facebook groups done so that things are more readily available. But as I say, to me, the village agents have been a fantastic contact point for people to be able to then make contact with micro providers. And I know that reablement services from the hospitals do give out micro provider lists, doctors do, health coaches do. But I think that thing of just having a list thrust at you, here's a list of providers, isn't really the best way forward. Whereas if you can say, well, this person needs X, Y, Z, and putting it on a WhatsApp group so that those people can then make contact, it narrows it down and it saves a lot of messing. I mean, if somebody contacts me and I can't fulfill their request, I'll say, can I take some information? Can I put it on our WhatsApp group so that we can get somebody to come to you rather than you having to do a whole lot chasing around?
I can remember when I first joined, we had the lists. And as you say, I can remember sitting there with the list with a specific need, dialing, sorry, no capacity, dial somebody else, sorry, no capacity. And as you say, it would take a very, very long time. Now, as you touch of a button, this is what the need is. Is there anybody out there that can support? And the blessing is it's not just the personal care, is it? It is the silly things. If you have somebody that needs key safe installing, do you know somebody that does? Chiropody. It is all the other support that comes with it as well. And all that local knowledge is there at the touch of a button. So, as you say, it really has progressed the whole micro provider and village agents forward. So something has, at least good has come out of the pandemic, because, as you say, we are so much closer together now. We know our local people, and it's more than just a phone call whilst you're busy, so you can't answer the phone. It sits there on, visually on WhatsApp, and we're resolving the issues so much faster. Mm-hmm. So, would you be able, is there people out there to take questions at the end? So if people start thinking of any questions, to put them up in the comments. Is that a possible? Yeah, that would be lovely.
I think the other thing is it's constantly evolving and growing and changing for the micro providers. So, it's not fixed, if that makes sense. And I think the way everything's pulling together and changing, it's very much responsive to the times we're in, what's going on, and moving forward. And I think it's all becoming more of a joined up service, because many of the village agents know people like myself personally. We've met up, we've had chats and everything, and you've also had feedback from clients. Oh, that was brilliant, so and so coming in, and best day's work we ever did getting that sorted, because it's just made life so much easier.
I do have a question from Barbara Ann. What about micro providers' holiday relief? So if you were wanting holiday relief, what would micro providers do then when they wanted a holiday?
Usually we can get some help from other micro providers to cover, or if it's something where there's one of, even 2 or 3 going into a package, the others involved in that package will pick that up. So it's very much about working together and supporting each other, really.
And then how do people contact the network through the WhatsApp group? Is another question that's gone up.
Probably at the moment, your way into that would be either through your village agents, your health coaches, or now we're getting the Facebook groups up on Facebook, but we've also got an email address that you can contact. I believe you've got that up somewhere, haven't you?
Yes, the email is the, she says, trying to find, there we go. The Yeovil Micro Providers Network contact email address is yeovilmicroproviders@gmail.com. So that would be a way to, as you say, to contact yourselves.
But as I say, really, if you contacted any of the micro providers that you got a list for, they would, if they couldn't help you, they should be able to put you something on that micro providers app for you.
Yeah. Alternatively, if they contact any of their agents, regardless of whether they are village, community, Home First, whichever agent, we will also be able to link you up with micro providers.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's about all the questions at the moment. But a lot of people do watch the playback. So we get queries coming in after we've finished our live broadcast. So just to say, please put your comments up. It is monitored, and they will make sure that we will make sure that they get to the right person to be answered.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you think we've missed or we need to cover?
I don't think so. Do you, Andy? I think
no, the brain, did you say, we're trying to sit here and think and But I think we've about covered anything. If you do, as I say, if they have any questions, then please put them in the comments. And I would like to say thank you very, very much for coming in and letting everybody know about the amazing job that you do and how well we work together.
Well, I think it's a very, very beneficial working relationship that really does help the needs of the people that need helping. So, yeah, yes. I'm quite proud of what we do, really.
Yes, so am I, as you say. Thank you very, very much. And no doubt in the future, we'll probably knock your door again and say, OK, come and update us with all of the changes. Oh, can you support a 4-year-old son when I am unable to? If you'd like to PM that one, that would be a personal answer, because we are going live to everybody. So if you do a private message, you'll get your response to your... I
can answer that one very, very quickly for you.
Okay.
Support could be given so long as the person has got on their DBS that they are covered to work with children. That's okay.
Oh, right. So that's what even I didn't know that one. There we go.
We all live and learn.
So, there we go. Yes, all the time. Well, thank you very, very much. And as I say, until we meet again, which we will no doubt do.
My pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. And that just leaves me to say thank you to everybody for watching. I hope this has been informative. Please join us for our Talking Cafe Lives that happen 11 o'clock every morning. There is always some notification as to what's happening and who is talking about what with whom. So we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.